Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Mount Union Area School District Board of Directors to order. Please stand for a moment of silence, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Dee. Mrs. McClure. Here. Mr. Weitzel.
Here.
Mr. Gerhart.
Present.
Mr. Hoover.
Here.
Mr. Kreitzer.
Here.
Mrs. Jackson. Here. Mr. Martinez. Mrs. Myers. Mrs. Shields. Here. Could I have a motion for the approval of the minutes from the February 24th, 2025 meeting as presented? Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The Mount Union Area Board of Education held an executive session on Monday, March 10th for personnel matters. For information, the Safety Committee meeting scheduled for March 13, 2025. Minutes are to be given to the board members for their information at the April board meeting. The Mount Union Area Board of Education did not hold any board committee meetings during the month of February, March 2025. Could I have a motion for the approval of the district office petty cash report for March 2025 and the nurses report? I didn't need that. Okay, sorry, Dave. Recommendation to accept the treasurer's report for the month of February 2025 is presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of the bills for payment for March 2025 is presented for paid and to be paid for the general fund and the cafeteria fund, and for the paid for the activities fund, with the understanding there are no capital reserve funds or scholarship trust fund bills paid or to be paid for March 2025. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Dwayne.
Mr. Garrett.
Now, do we have the approval for the district petty cash report for March 2025 and the nurses report for February 2025 is presented? Do I hear a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to public comments. Is there a member of the public present that would like to address the board with any item that's on the agenda? You're limited to 5 minutes. Please come forward, state your name and your residence.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Kraus. I live on Market Street in Mount Union. I'm also the elementary band and choir director. Good evening. The National Association of Music Education, NPMEA, which is the Pennsylvania Music Education Association, recognizes March as Music in Our Schools Month. It's a good time for all of us to stop and take a minute to appreciate the music that is all around us every day. Sometimes it's easy to forget in the hustle bustle of our daily lives, especially the hustle bustle of running a school district, that music is around us. Quite literally, it is the soundtrack of our lives. I've kind of said this before in different venues, but it starts from the moment that you're born. The lullabies that your mother sings to you. Your birthdays as you're growing up are filled with people singing happy birthday to you. School children listen to our national anthem 2,340 times during their day-to-day schooling. Think back to your high school graduation and your high school processional. Think about your school's fight song, the music you danced to at prom. Music was influential in all of those big moments. Remember your wedding date, from the music you walked down the aisle to your first dance, father-daughter dance, mother-son dance. Think of a parade. What's a parade without a marching band? And not to mention every holiday. I mean, today I will spare you playing a jig for you, but I mean, it's St. Patrick's Day. And let alone Christmas, there's Christmas music and more Christmas music and even more Christmas music. Even mundane things about our daily lives, whether it's going out to eat, shopping at the mall, or grocery shopping, there's always music in the background, even in those elevators. And who can forget the movies? What's a Disney movie without a good soundtrack? Especially right now, all the good wicked music out there. Music is also present at our desks, from the taps that are played for our local service members to the hymns played at our funeral masses. Music is quite literally there from the day we are born until the day we pass. Why do I bring attention to all that music? Well, without being taught in all of our public schools, that music starts to slowly disappear. Music itself is a craft that has to be taught, studied, lived, practiced some more. If any of my kids are listening, they need to go practice more as well. And all of that starts in your public schools. Without teaching it here, it would cease to exist outside of these doors. All of that commitment can be very trying, I know, for a school district to fund school music programs in regard to time, to finances, and to even the staffing that's required. We at Mount Union have been very lucky that we've had committed people around to keeping that music in our schools. Your commitment and appreciation to our school music program was demonstrated even this past year with all of the ESSER band instruments, general music instruments, and choral robes. And we're already seeing the benefits of that commitment this school year. The choir robes have been displayed not only in our district, but also at our district festivals. We had 5 students at the district choir festival, and then 2 that were selected to go on for regional chorus just recently. Our elementary school students have thoroughly enjoyed all of the new African drums, which some of you saw at Music on Parade and Christmas programs, as well as some of the new curriculum that was able to be purchased. And finally, I know all of you and my husband are tired of hearing about those ESSER band instruments, but truly there are not words to express how monumental that has been for our students. The variety for decades to come. Seeing those instruments being delivered was something I personally will never forget either. And yes, there was probably a confetti popper involved. Sure. Being able to hand 7 brand new flutes to 7 little flute players as they left my room that day was unbelievable. I have 2 students playing 3/4 size tuba we've never even owned in our school district, and they are crushing it on these giant horns. We've never even had that low bass sound in our band before. And even the really cool aspect of, as I said, variety of notes my students never had it, never having to see them and then being like, oh yeah, like that. In particular, one little crushing it on a bass clarinet, all because she saw it come in the first day and was like, oh, I want that. Appreciation Month, I just want to say thank you, all of you for. Hope you're all able to enjoy our spring concert in May and see some of the other acts. I hope all of you in this room tonight take a moment and know that soundtrack of your daily life as you're jamming out, singing in the car on the way home, singing in your shower. Um, So note that music that plays throughout our lives every day. And remember that music starts with music education in our schools. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gretchen. Thank you for sharing your love of music to our students. Is there anyone else that would like to make a comment at this time? Brian, would you like to recognize the champ?
Yes, I'd like to recognize Champ. Just a little update on Champ that just wrapped up. And the community never ceases to amaze me how giving our community is, especially when we have families that are in need and they have health concerns and they're in need of that extra support. So with that being said, Mount Union came in second place for the Champ Cup, and they raised in excess of $39,000, which is pretty impressive for kids to take on that, to go out in our community and how generous our community is. This is the second highest amount ever raised by Mount Union. And then next year, Mount Union will host here at the high school champ. So that's important to note. I do want to take a minute too of everybody's time to recognize that we have several very involved advisors that I think need to be recognized. So I'll list those. And then the captains who spearhead this and make this happen for our families and go out into the community and do different things to raise these funds. I apologize in advance if I butcher a name. I'm not the best sometimes with names. So our advisors include Marie Dashbaugh, Stephanie Hancock Staines, Tim Hicks, Kelly Hicks, and Gretchen Krause. Of course, this all started with Jeremy Krause and his he envisioned this for our community, so he needs to be recognized as well. And then the captains, Gracie Smith, Callie Trego, Jenna Ritchie, Adriana Miller, Emma Swagner, Julian Rich, thank you. Dylan Shaver, Lily Hicks, Delaney Ronk, Katie Payne, Sydney Harris, Isabella Yoakum, Sadie Wise, Adriana Simmons, and Jaslyn Inch. Everybody was a team player with this, and we greatly appreciate everybody's support with Champ. So thank you.
Anyone else? All right, moving forward. Could I have a motion to accept the retirement of Dr. Amy Smith as Superintendent of Schools effective June 30th, 2025, and to authorize the board president to sign any necessary paperwork to effectuate same? Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Do you have a roll call, Dee?
Mr. Hoover. We're taking a roll call.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mrs. Jackson. Yes. Mr. Kreitzer,
Yes.
Mr. Gerhart,
Gerhart abstains.
Mr. Martinez,
Yes.
Mrs. Myers isn't here, Mrs. Shields,
Yes.
Mr. Weitzel,
Yes.
Mrs. McClure.
Yes.
Seven yeas, motion carries.
Motion to approve Michelle Dutrow as interim substitute superintendent beginning March 18th, 2025 through June 30th, 2025 at a per diem rate of $500 per day and pending receipt of all required legal documentation. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Do I hear a second?
Seconds.
Do we have a roll call, Dee?
Mrs. Shields,
Yes.
Mr. Weitzel,
Yes.
Mr. Hoover,
Yes.
Mrs. Jackson. Yes. Mr. Kreitzer,
Yes.
Mr. Gerhart,
Mr. Gerhart abstains.
Mr. Martinez,
Yes.
Mrs. Myers is not here, Mrs. McClure.
Yes.
Seven yeas, motion carries.
For those of you that may have not met Mrs. Dutrow yet, she is seated in the front row beside Mr. Bruce Smith. And after the meeting, if you would like to say hello and welcome her to Mount Union. Moving forward. Moving forward, requests from Dr. Diane Thomas, Director of Special Education, to offer a summer ESY through the Tuscarora Intermediate Unit number 11, beginning June 30th, 2025 through August 1st, 2025 at the Mount Union Kistler Elementary, Shirley Township Elementary, and the senior high school. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Request from Christian McClure to attend the Pennsylvania Federal Program Coordinators Conference to be held April 11th to the 14th at the Hershey Lodge with cost to the district for registration of $550 and lodging $629.37 for a total of $1,179.37. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I abstain. Requests from Amy Foster and Donna McVeigh to participate in the safety care recertification training to be held at the TIU on April 16, 2025, with cost to the district being for substitutes of $87.50 each and registration of $7 each. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
Requests to participate in the safety care two-day training on April 29th and 30th at the TIU 11 from Tammy Fisher, Brooke Booney, and Jill Kurtz, with costs to the district being for substitutes at $87.50 per day for 2 days for Tammy Fisher and Brooke Booney at $120 per day, and 2 days for Jill Kurtz, and for registration, $7 each. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
Recommendation to either approve or disapprove the Tuscarora Intermediate Units number 11's general operating budget for the 2025 school year in the amount of $3,793,033, with the district's cost for the IMS services at $4.25 per student, for a total of $4,675 for the 25-26 school year. Could I have a motion to approve? Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
You have a question, Dwayne?
It's procedures. Is that what this is?
Yes.
This is to by April 15th. Just expediting it tonight or? Is this separate from this ballot here?
No, it's the same. You said it said April 15th. I know it was approved at the last IU meeting.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
They need it back by the 15th of April.
Our next meeting's on the 21st.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
No, you still have to fill it out.
Yep. I'm good.
Okay, all in favor of approving the budget?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
And please fill out your ballot and turn it into D then. Approval of the minutes of the February 11th, 2025 meeting of the Huntington County Career and Technology Center is presented. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to the consent vote. Approval of the consent vote agenda items as presented. Items 11.1 to 16.3. Do I hear a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Please take a minute and look down over them if anyone has any questions or comments. Any comments or questions? All right, moving on. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to public comments. Does any member of the public wish to make a comment? Please come forward, state your name and address. You have 3 minutes. Anyone?
Good.
Bruce Smith, Mount Union. I had to kind of go through this a little bit and, a lot of questions I had, but just wanted to be tactful. Good evening, board members, community members, school administration. I stand before you tonight not to create a conflict, but I'm calling for transparency and accountability, something every taxpayer, I believe, in this district deserves. Came to my attention, not through an official statement, not through but through just community discussions, that Dr. Smith would no longer be employed by this district. Lack of clear communication fueled speculation, and if you ever don't know what you're doing in a small town, everyone else does. When questions go unanswered, rumors fill the gaps. I didn't want to speak on the matter until I had a little bit of clarity. None was ever provided. Instead, more people had reached out, teachers, community members, former district staff, everyone with their own brand or of concern about how decisions were being made and how transparency is lacked. For years, we've watched this district struggle financially, and I've been up here countless times saying the same thing. We've asked questions over and over again, but why is our district always on the edge of financial crisis? Why do similar districts manage so much better? And why do the numbers never seem to add up? Myself and probably about 30 others have gone through our district finances over the years with questions after question after question, and we never get answers. The district repeatedly made errors, and we've been given excuses: charter school expense, rising expenses of of insurance, the shifting state funding. Now we're told there's another factor possibly at play, which I have no real confirmation of at this point, but I'd like to get some answers. This district repeatedly has made errors in its financial reporting, and apparently is a form that we have to file with the state every year, Form PDE 363, which calculates the amount that we pay charter school tuition. Over the years, apparently incorrect filings led to significant overpayments. At this point, it could be estimated in the millions, but no one has a clear answer. Due to state policies, from what I've read, and I could be wrong, most of that money is apparently gone. We have no ability to get it back, all due to gross negligence and mismanagement. This mistake wasn't caught by past leadership. We've had how many boards that have sat up here over the years, and these issues have been brought to your attention countless times. We're still having the conversation. It wasn't addressed by financial oversight until we made a hire in November, from what I can see. It took that consultant and the district's current business manager to identify correctness. This raises serious concerns, especially in my eyes, of how financial reports have been handled in this district. We went how many months without a financial report a few years ago? Treasury. And it was just accepted as standard operating procedures. How often have errors been overlooked? And do we have the proper safeguards in place to prevent this from happening again? Because at this point, our taxpayers have taken the brunt. I'm asking the board to provide some real answers, and I'm not sure how we can go about this, but can they confirm that this was the case? Can they confirm the exact amount of money that we overpaid due to these errors, if that's possible at this point? Can any of these funds be recovered? What safeguards have been put in place to ensure financial reports are accurate going forward? Will the public ever have full access to the financial records so these mistakes are no longer hidden from taxpayers? Mistakes happen, I get that, and I see it constantly in my life, but I'll tell you, what matters now is how we choose to move forward with it and how we handle it. Will we ever see true transparency or real accountability, or will this just be another problem potentially brushed under the rug? I pray not. But just know your public's watching, taxpayers are watching. Most importantly, our students deserve better. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to make any comments? Since some of this is a personnel issue, I have a few points that I'm told that I can say to address your concerns. We as a board share in your concern as it relates to the financial and operational health of the district. We wish to be as transparent with the public's questions while balancing and adhering to the rules governing personnel issues. At this time, we know there have been several financial matters that either resulted in lost funds or potential lost funds. We also are aware that there were tasks that either were not completed, incorrectly completed, or not completed in the required time frame. Some examples of financial concerns relate to our BESSER funding, medical access billing, and our charter tuition rate. While we know that the district has lost funds to date and had the potential to lose further funds had they not been corrected, we do not know the extent of those losses. The board asked our educational consultant to review these matters as part of her improvement efforts. The consultant sought outside assistance from other educational professionals currently in the field, as well as officials from PDE and other agencies to ascertain procedural confirmations and to explore our next steps. The board of directors is taking this very seriously. It needs time to sort through these concerns and see if definitive numbers can even be determined. The issue is compounded by the frequent turnover we've had with experience in our business office, which has left that part of the business in disarray. We will continue to work on it and to answer your questions. That's all that I can say at this time. To actual investigated was someone inside was when we hired our consultant. There was concerns prior to that among board members. Anyone else? You're welcome. I'm told that it depends on the outcome and whether there are repercussions to it and other with the outcome of it. So we don't know at this time. I'm told that by our solicitor.
If it's the subject of either a criminal or a civil investigation under the Open Records Act, would not be able to, the board would not be able to divulge that information until after all of that's done. And given what Mrs. McClure has presented, that could take some time. So it's not a question of putting you off. It's a question of, it's involved and they want to make sure that they look into everything as deeply as they have to get sound answers. Most importantly for the board first, and then once they have those answers, then at that point in time, that can be divulged to the public. But that may not be as quickly as what most.
But if there's not a civil or criminal.
Yeah, then under the open records, that would be available. Correct.
And there is still some uncertainty with some of the records and the turnovers, whether those we'll ever know down to an exact figure. Anyone else? The workshop for April will be April the 14th at 6:30. And I understand we will be having more budget presentations. Our regular board meeting will be held Monday, April the 28th at 7 o'clock. The date was changed because of no school on the 21st. We'll move on to our administrators and superintendent reports. How about starting with you, Casey?
The on-site portion of the cafeteria administrative review had to upload the documents on March 11th. They will be in Shirley Township first week of April. We have submitted the documentation for the food service contract renewal. I worked in conjunction with Met, our current food service management company. There will be a motion on the agenda in April for your approval. We, ladies in the business office and I explored cost savings for our copy paper. The district uses approximately 650 cases. Our current vendor gave us a quote, $40 a case. I had Mrs. Miles reach out to another company. They came back with a price of $31.59 a case. Our current vendor wanted to see that quote. They then came back with a price of $29.69 a case. So when it was all said and done, we will save between $5,792 and $6,702 for the district's next year's budget. So that's a win for us. First round of budget presentations, as you all knew, were a huge success. Physical plant, technology, and virtual will be presenting on Monday, April 12th.
Sure. Kristen Sharada, Director of Curriculum Instruction Assessment for grades 6 through 12. On Wednesday, March 5th, our elementary and secondary SEALS leadership teams attended the Special Topics A training at TIU 11. And then on Thursday, April 3rd, do my math, our teams will attend the STEEL Special Topics B training, which was approved this evening. In preparation for PSSAs and Keystones, I'll be attending the faculty meetings to help prepare our test administrators at Shirley Township Elementary, Wednesday, March 19th, and at our senior high on Wednesday, March 26th. And I would anticipate our junior high training will probably occur in April once Mrs. Palm is back. This Thursday, Christian McClure and I are going to meet with our new teacher induction group and focus on formative and summative assessments. And I'd like to give a big thanks to two of our members who are here tonight from the junior high. Tori Ramsey and Kaylee Getz are both here, girls. And the building principals and the directors of curriculum presented our preliminary budgets back on March 10th. And that went pretty well at our workshop. Thank you.
Good evening, Dawn Shields. Looking at our cyber charter enrollment, we currently stand at 156. That is 4 less than last month. We hosted our annual 8th grade parent meeting with Penn Highlands on the 13th. That was well attended. Applications for those incoming 9th graders are due on the 15th of April.
Good evening, Alicia Yocum, principal at Kester Elementary School. Just wanted to mention that Kester Elementary celebrated Read Across America Monday, March 3rd through Friday, March 7th. They had many things going on. We had daily dress themes, mystery readers. We had character bingo, hidden green eggs, all sorts of things that the kids really seemed to enjoy. We had a culminating activity on Friday, which included a hat parade where the kids were able to create and make their own hats similar to Dr. Seuss. And we had a book activity that the students were able to sign up for the book of their choice and go to that classroom and take part in an activity and read aloud from that teacher. We just had an Act 80 day. There was great conversation had, especially at the grade level within the colleagues. Just discussion on goals for finishing off the year strong, as well as continued discussion on strategies to continue to have our students show growth and success. And finally, well, not finally, I'm sorry. This Friday, we do have our third quarter celebration for PBIS. We have 2 presenters coming in, one of them being the reptile man and all of his slithering creatures that I know the students are really looking forward to, but not necessarily all staff members. And lastly, today opened up the online enrollment link for kindergarten registration. So anybody that has a student aged 5 or will be 5 by the end of August, you can begin scheduling that online. The dates for that will be April 9th and April 10th. We hold those at Kester Elementary School. Those appointments are between 1 o'clock and 5:30 in the evening, and looking forward to all of those new kindergarten faces that we will be seeing next school year.
Hi, Riley Benson. This past month, our FBLA chapter found out that our first ever chapter project will be competing at states held in Hershey from April 7th to 9th. Members are working incredibly hard in preparing for states. They're continuously meeting with outside judges in order to clean up their presentations and speeches. Ms. Cooper is also working with the objective test students by preparing study guides. 2 of our members competed in an event where the test is taken at the home school. They did this 2 Fridays ago, and we are now waiting for that April date to see if they'll move on to the national level. We continue our fundraisers in order to help with the cost of states. NHS completed their February community service event at a variety of nursing homes. We went to the Shirley Home in Woodland on a Saturday and then 2 homes in Huntington on Sunday. This is the first time our chapter was able to do this in a few years due to COVID. I can speak for personal experience and say that this was a very eye-opening event for me, and it changes your perspective on a lot of things, seeing the people there. This month, we were trying to get in touch with the Senior Citizen Center in order to hold our annual Rockathon. I did not get in touch with FFA to get a report from them this month, and this is my own fault. I forgot to remind Katie, the president of FFA, until this morning that I need a report, and it's the end of the marking period. It's been a little busy around here, so she did not get that to me. But I do know that they had a few students compete in public speaking events, and Thursday they did their story hour at the library. SAD held a junior high dance and senior high lock-in, in which I unfortunately was unable to attend. From my knowledge, everything went smoothly. SAD also held a winter formal for the senior high where we crowned a boy and a girl from each grade. Our winners were Jalen Peterson, Tyler Simple, Talia Weitzel, Dorian Lohner, Jason Hess, Kara Benson, Atlee Moore, and Jacob Kreitz. That same night, we held a junior high lock-in, and other than a minor hiccup around 4 a.m., the night went well. Drama Club has started their rehearsals for this year's production. We'll be acting out The Addams Family on May 1st and 2nd. We invite everyone to come out and see this production, as the cast is excited and working hard. If anyone is interested in tickets, feel free to reach out to me, Miss Corson, the Drama Club Facebook page, or any other actress or actor. The baseball team is excited to have a successful season. They started their season off with a scrimmage last week against Forest Hills. Cheer tryouts start tomorrow for the fall season, the 25-26 school year. Softball has started their season last week with a scrimmage and played again today. The girls are ready to have a wonderful season, and I'm excited to see what they do this school year. I don't remember who mentioned it, but someone talked about Champ already, so I will leave that out. And lastly, the class trip. I would like to personally thank Ms. Hopple, Ms. Glunt, and Mr. Horn for chaperoning the trip to Florida. We had a wonderful time with no issues whatsoever. Everything from the bus ride down to the bus ride back was phenomenal, and I couldn't have asked for a better trip, so thank you for allowing us to go on this wonderful event. Although we all came home sick from Florida and Disney, This trip was one of a lifetime, so thank you again. Also, as an additional note, student organizations, clubs specifically, are being charged for use of facilities on days that school is not in session. For example, when the student council held homecoming back in October, we paid the janitor fee, which clubs have always paid, but we also received a use of building fee, which is new. I have recently found out about it and thought I would bring it to the public's attention. I'm involved in around 6 clubs and president of 3 at our school, all of which have a limited number of resources due to the fact that we do not get funded by the school like sports do. So, as someone who is not an athlete, but rather someone who is interested in clubs, it is incredibly frustrating to be charged for the use of the building that these clubs are facilitated at.
So I appreciate that Mrs. Shields left me a brief talking point. We did meet this evening as a team to talk about our CATS program, Business and Ag. Gearing up for updating the plan in FRCPP. Did I say that right? Okay. And we will be working on a program audit for the 25-26 school year. And then other than that, the day-to-day grind of completing teacher observations and IEP meetings tend to keep me pretty busy.
Good evening, Mrs. Rickabaugh from Shirley Township Elementary. I just wanted to say we had a bus evacuation drill last week, and I wanted to compliment the high school students. It was probably one of the better jobs they've ever done. When they get out of the bus in the back, they actually help the children down. They actually put their hands on their shoulders and pulled them down. So I wanted to say thank you for that. Mrs. Kraus had music on parade on February 27th, which was successful. We had our PBIS assembly, the Masked Singer performance, and our finals are in the month of May. It was a lot of fun. The Kiwanis Club visited our school last Friday and they read to our 3rd graders for Dr. Seuss Day. Spring pictures were taken and they're online for order now. Friday, we had Act 80 Day. I'm sorry, Kiwanis Club was there Thursday. Act 80 Day was Friday, and there were 2 points I wanted to make. We were able to review our next steps with our Tier 2 and Tier 3 students, and also the teachers had a chance to collaborate with each other and come up with some plans and some ideas of things that we can do better for next year. Cafeteria audit, we started today practicing better habits and good practices. PSSS trainings and preps were done. And today we did March Appreciation Week, and we really wanted to shout out to our teachers, all teachers in the district, how much we appreciate them, and things do not go unnoticed, even if they're not told on a daily basis. And last but not least, I do want to shout out to our bocce team. Even though we're a small community, there were over 400 teams in our region, which constructed of 8 different regions. And Mount Union's team was number 2 going in out of the top 8. We ended up 4th out of 400 teams. We got 4th place for the bocce team in Mount Union, so kudos to them. And we also came in last week and I had the team walk around with me because part of the deal is to share what inclusion really is all about. And so they went around with me because they sent me a box of goodies, sunglasses, water bottles, wristbands, fidgets, and we passed them around to teachers, kids, anybody we saw in the hallway, some of the administration that was at a meeting. But I just wanted to shout out because I'm really proud of the bocce team. So thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Most of the talking points I had were already mentioned by someone who came before me. So I'm not going to reread all of those same points. The one thing that they did not mention was that we have 3 of our new teachers from the elementary here this evening. One of the requirements for new teacher induction is that they must attend a school board meeting throughout the school year. So ladies, if you 3 would please stand and I'll give a quick introduction. All 3 of these ladies are from Shirley Township Elementary. The furthest one away from me is Miss Reagan Wood. She is a 4th grade teacher at Shirley Township Elementary. And then moving up, we have Miss Emily Walters, who is a fifth grade teacher at Shirley Township Elementary. And then we also have Michaela Weidler, who is also a fifth grade teacher at Shirley Township Elementary. So thank you, ladies. Thank you for coming.
Okay, I want to respond to Ms. Riley Benson. Our high school budget next year does include monies going towards all of our clubs. So yay, yay, yay clubs. All right, also on Friday, I want to invite the board to our career day. So March 21st, Friday in the morning, we are going to have a career day in which we're going to have 45 presenters, mostly Mount Union alumni, coming in to present to our students so that they can ask them questions or give them a sense of what they are doing out in their careers. So you're invited to come and see that or visit with some of our alumni. I have also been judging some of our FBLA talent, which Riley is one of those. Got to listen into their speeches and their presentations, and they're polishing them up. They're looking good, but Miss Cooper is a taskmaster, so she don't look at the scars on Riley's back, because she's putting in the hard work there. She's gonna come out very well there in the state competition. We are going to be getting involved. We were once involved, but through COVID, it stopped. It is the Huntington County Youth Leadership through the Chamber of Commerce. This is a 3-year program that starts with our 10th graders. So this year's 9th graders. And I've been putting it out to them to see who would want to be involved in this. This is a program that will develop leadership potential in Huntington County's future workforce, work with the academically diverse group of students from various educational programs, and instill a sense of pride and ownership in the students for their community. So I'm looking for future 10th grade students that would want to get involved in this program to be part of Huntington County Youth Leadership. So you can put that in the paper there, Deb, there, and help me advertise. Thank you. Last but not least, I want to recognize, I think this has been put out to all staff, so I think I can share this, that we are going to be losing one of our long tenured teachers, Adam Glasgow, 23 years in the district. He is taking a job at Huntington as an assistant principal. In May, he will be leaving us, so I want to wish him luck and congratulate him, and hopefully people will be able to pat him on the back and be able to see him in the future. So I just want to wish him luck. Thank you.